The thing is,
as much as we complain about her, whoever Ward 13 chooses after her is going to be much worse. And that's saying something, because she's not great.
I disagree, because I think, even though Ward 13 is the most conservative ward, it's still like 75-80% self-described Democrats. And there's no way to win without at least pretending you're a progressive in Ward 13, like giving them just enough to feel like, yeah, this isn't dirty.
Mike, you don't account for the fact there is a wide swath, a wide variety of Democrats in this city.
We're rolling. We're rolling.
This is a real thing. Real thing.
None of you have the balls to stop this. Stop this.
I've got plenty of time. I have nothing else going on today.
We're in the Wedge neighborhood right now.
Hey, Mike, where you at? I am at 33rd. Where's the White Castle again? Oh, 33rd. Oh. Okay. All set.
Is this happening? Am I just getting in? What happens?
You clip this on your collar. That's the mic.
All right.
And then I welcome you to the show.
Is this live?
No.
Okay.
I'll be editing it at some point.
This is really something. I wore shorts, so I was ready.
I don't know if it's going to
Slide this back?
Do you need me to slide it back?
Is it possible?
If you want to just not pedal, I can do the pedaling.
I can pedal. It'll just be a little...
Because I have refused to adjust it for any of my guests so far.
Sure, but I'm probably like the most high maintenance guest you'll have. This is very snug.
Ward 13.
All right.
Okay. Welcome back.
All right, I'll see you in a bit. By the way, John is my friend Ryan. John Ryan. Sorry.
Yeah, we've met.
Yeah. All right.
Welcome back to the Wedge Live podcast. I'm your host, John Edwards, and joining me now is Mike Norton, Minneapolis DFL Vice Chair.
Hi. Thanks for having me. A lovely day at Open Streets.
And we're about to head. Should we go this way?
We can go whichever way. There's a wrestling match going on north.
I think we'll go back. We'll go back to Lynn Lake. And do we want the camera facing us or facing out into the crowd?
Whatever you'd like to do.
Have we established what you look like enough to move on?
I guess. Yeah, we could start facing towards the crowd if we want to get a shot of us again at the end, maybe to wrap it up.
Maybe I already got the wrestling stuff, so we'll leave it as it is.
Okay.
And we'll turn.
Do we want to go this way?
We're turning.
This is quite a moment.
So how is life as the Minneapolis DFL Vice Chair?
It's good. I cannot pedal though. I'm literally.
No, don't even try.
We can't move it back at all?
We can, but there's a post, so I'll have to take a pin out, slide it back behind the post.
Sure. All right.
Do you want me to? I'll try to adjust the
I would do it. Yeah, sorry, man. I'm like this? Yeah. Sorry. I mean, it's way up there. I got these long dancer's legs. Thank you so much.
Did it go back at all?
Yeah, you moved it. I mean, it's not as far back as yours, but...
Is it better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This is quite a bit better.
Well, that was easy. I feel bad for making my guests suffer through that ridiculously... Okay, we won't tell anyone that was easy. We won't tell anyone that was easy.
We'll edit that part out.
Okay.
Still a little snug, but I'm...
So life is DFL Vice Chair, Minneapolis DFL Vice Chair.
Yeah,
And let's go slow. We can do a slow talk here.
sure. Just ease into it. Is this? Oh, you have one too? Nice.
I guess we'll wait until after we pass the music.
All right.
Give it up for Moxie.
I've been out here for hours.
All right, thanks everybody for listening.
And I don't know if I've had any good material, any good conversation at all.
Sure.
No, I can't tell. As soon as something good starts to happen, we come upon some music. Somebody's like, hey, I recognize you, or like somebody wants to say hi to the guest.
Sure. Well, luckily nobody wanted to say hi to me, so.
Yeah, you're very anonymous.
Yeah.
I think I've asked you this twice so far and you haven't answered, but how is life as Minneapolis DFL Vice Chair?
You know, so far it's pretty good. I didn't think people would be so upset that I got elected to the vice chair position.
That was odd.
It was strange.
Because it's a job that no one was even recommended for. Like it was gonna go unfilled, and then at the convention, three people threw their hat in,
Right.
decided they wanted it. But like not a hotly contested one, you wouldn't think. But people were upset that you got it because the two reasons: you're too much a former Republican, but also you're lying about how much of a former Republican you are.
Right.
In terms of you're not. In other words, either you're too moderate or you're pretending to be moderate. Like you're a leftist plant.
Right. I'm simultaneously both of those. Yeah. No, I mean, in hindsight, I probably should have maybe given more context as to kind of what I meant. I mean, moderate's a very relative term, but convention was going on for a long time. Language became more casual, including my own. And I guess my statement didn't reflect the necessary precision and nuance, and I own that.
And afterwards, you know what I told people closest to me after you became Minneapolis DFL Vice Chair? My immediate reaction? It's Mike Norton's MPD now.
That's when this type of power shift happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, things are really changing. My understanding of the vice chair is I just make sure that we have proper postage.
Okay.
If Brianna doesn't want to go to an event, I go to that event. Those sorts of things.
Because there's not a lot of opportunity for Mike Norton to pull some shit. Like, what could you do?
I don't really know. I mean,
It almost makes you think, why did I run for this job? It's kind of work without a lot of opportunity for you to push your own personal agenda.
right. I would say my shit posting gets more weight on Twitter now that I'm the Minneapolis DFL Vice Chair, so that's fun. But yeah, I agree. There's not a lot of opportunity to make real impactful change. I would say I would like to see the conventions be a little more open and catering to people that aren't, diehards.
How would you do that? By open, do you mean like procedurally open in terms of maybe more things happen online, or just like more welcoming to different kinds of people? Maybe those two things are connected.
Yeah, I mean, it could be any of those things. It could be even more. I think that you have a city that is overwhelmingly Democrats, self-identified Democrats in Minneapolis. It's like 80% or something like that. And a few hundred people end up kind of selecting endorsements, end up choosing the rules for the party, and so on. And I think that more people would want to be engaged if we were more welcoming to newcomers, if we made it simpler to navigate the process and to participate. And if it wasn't a 9-hour Robert's Rules of Order type of event in some high school gymnasium on a beautiful Saturday.
That's the whole point, though. I often think, well, the fact that it's super hard to stay in a gym all day is part of the competition. It's like which side can have their supporters suffer through the most. You know, that's kind of the point.
Right. But I think, like, you know, you have those bullshit, like, point of order about the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to get, you know, and you end up just trying to run out the clock. And with the intent of only having those known diehards remaining, and those people get to make the decision. And I think that that's problematic. Like, if the point of it is parliamentary delay, like, what are you doing?
You know what it reminds me of? I'm going to stop here for a moment. It reminds me of neighborhood associations where it's like, let's keep this group as small as possible so it's always us making the decisions.
Right. It's a big neighborhood. Oh, sorry. He just almost ran over that dog. Yeah, I'm gonna take a selfie of us. All right.
How long have you lived in Minneapolis? I probably asked you this a bunch of times.
I think 2012 I moved to Minneapolis.
That's the same year I moved to Minneapolis.
I think we've had this conversation, but yeah, I lived in the North Loop for a year or two and then got married, and we've been in Southwest since 2014.
So did you meet your spouse in Minneapolis?
We actually both went to Mankato State together, so we met there in like 2005.
Okay. So quite a while.
Right, but she was up here and I moved back, and one thing led to another.
We're just gonna get a lot of video of people's butts going through Lynn Lake. It's always very congested here. How long have you been coming to Lyndale Open Streets?
A few years. I mean, last year we had a booth with the campaign, so that was probably the most intensive experience. But how long have you been coming to Lyndale Open Streets?
Ever since I moved here.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I was aware of it before I moved. Why would I be? But it's a delight. I love it. It's my favorite event in Minneapolis. I think I was telling Ash from our streets, we had a conversation earlier, about how other street festivals kind of feel like it's all about drinking.
Yeah.
It's all about drinking, whereas this feels like it's about the neighborhood, the people who live here, families, anyone who shows up. Not that I care about families. I sound like a NIMBY.
Sure.
Whoa!
You don't care about families?
No. We
were almost involved in that accident.
Yeah. It wasn't our fault, though. Someone was pushed into the mobile podcast studio. For those of you who are only listening, why would you be? Why would you be listening to this? It should be on YouTube. Someone was pushed into the studio as we pedaled past. Here's Ryan Brown. Hello, Ryan Brown. Do you want to come around to the back and be on the podcast?
What's that?
Walk around to the back so we can get you. Oh, sorry. The video is facing front. Go to the front. Go to the front. It's facing the front.
Oh, it's facing front?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Lean down. Get your face on it. Yeah. Okay, a little lower. A little lower. Yes. There they are. Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Good to see you.
This is Minneapolis DFL Vice Chair Mike Norton.
I thought you worked for the Grimace campaign.
I can do both.
Thank you.
Until the DFL endorses. Oh, a Bondest sticker. Thank you.
Been to our show?
I used to have an office in the Calhoun building there. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A kinky party at the Walker, 7/29/22. Rubberballusa.com. I guess we're promoting that.
Sure. Unpaid endorsement that you just gave.
We're taking unpaid. Okay, here we go. What were we?
Good, are you?
What were we talking about?
We'll see you at the Walker.
Hopefully, yeah. I don't have anything to wear, though.
Well, you know where to go.
Sure, there you go.
Because if you come like this,
This is the only clothes I own. I have like 9 of this shirt.
well, we can make this in latex for you.
All right, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Mike Norton has been talked into a latex. How would you describe that shirt? Business casual?
Yeah, like a gingham. Is that how you say it? I have a blue and a light blue shirt like this, and I own multiples. And Von Desk is now willing to make was it a latex version? He said.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. I think that helped me fit in a little bit more of the rubber ball.
It's just going to be a lot of people's butts in the camera. Do you know where we left off?
I think we were talking about how Lyndale Open Streets was your favorite event.
Oh yeah, because the families.
But yeah, you were like, fuck them kids.
Well, you made me clip the barricade.
I'm trying not to steer that much. This is you're leading in this dance. Just trying to add a little propulsion and not mess things up too much. Did you move from Florida? Is that right?
Yeah, South Florida.
Did they have open streets events like this where you live?
At this point, maybe. I don't know. Probably not where I lived, but yeah, it's not very conducive to walking places and biking. People talk about how the weather is so bad in Minnesota for biking. But like, good luck biking in the South Florida heat for like 6 months of the year. You'll kill yourself. Sure. At least in Minnesota, you can put on more clothes. There isn't any amount of clothes that you can take off in Florida to make it comfortable in the summer.
Sure. That's fair. A bit muggy to be riding and commuting to work. I have a colleague in Singapore who moved there from the U.S. and he was walking to the subway the first day he was there, and he's in a full suit because that's what you have to wear. You know, it's kind of a conservative business climate there. But he's in a full suit and it's hot, and he's walking past the same person every day that's just like barely inching along, and they end up getting to the subway about the same time for the same train. The other person just gets there late. Finally, the guy goes, you walk that fast in that suit, you're going to be sweating everywhere you go. So he had to like adopt this like very, very, methodical, slow pace in order just not to be covered in sweat every day on his way to work in a humid climate. I assume this is the kind of content you wanted on this podcast.
Yeah. It's very congested here at Lyndale Open Streets. And Mike Norton is telling me a story about Singapore, and I can say I barely listened. I barely listened. Because I'm focused, not because you're not interesting and you're not a scintillating conversationalist.
That was not an interesting conversation.
Because I'm trying not to knock people over with this contraption.
Yeah, no, it's gotten dangerous.
We'll be right back after a brief message from our sponsor.
Hey listeners, I want to talk to you about fashion. Did you know that Wedge Live has t-shirts and hats available? I'm wearing some right now. If you already have your Wedge Live merch and need even more creative shirts from around town, grab the latest issue of Dispatch. For this month's issue, Dispatch lays out some fashionable local shirt recommendations for your summer style. Plus, they check in with Mary Lucia, preview the upcoming Afro-Punk Festival, unpack the insane memes of the Walker Teens Instagram, and much more. And you know I love some insane memes. Sign up for their newsletter and get more reports from the Minneapolis and St. Paul arts and culture scene at dispatchmsp.com. That's dispatchmsp.com.
This is quite a machine. Should we pedal a little harder? Sorry. It's too focused on a selfie.
We don't want to drive and selfie.
Yeah, it's getting intense.
Okay. Oh, we've got debris on the roadway.
I believe those were
Little dumplings?
pot stickers or dumplings, yeah.
Are you wearing sunscreen?
I am on my face because I actually got sunburned last week. So,
what did you do last week?
I was in New York for vacation. So,
Was that nice?
It was lovely. Very walkable city.
I went to Chicago.
I think I saw that. Well, you just described it as like a large Midwestern city.
Yeah.
But yeah, how was your trip?
It was very nice. I like Chicago. Good transit. Neighborhoods are great. Okay, stop pedaling, Mike. Stop pedaling.
Hey, are you doing the podcast right now?
We are. This is a podcast, so we're going to blow past you.
All right.
Bye.
Are you doing the podcast now? Yes. You should get like an on-air sign so people know.
Well, it does say that on the back. We should say it on the front.
Sure.
You know, I wish we had done this at a less popular open streets.
So we wouldn't be spending most of our time focused on not hitting people.
Yeah.
Playable audio.
Yes. So, like, I don't know, scaring people with our loud brakes.
This is really, yeah.
I find that people are very eager to pedal when they get into the passenger seat, and they get us moving too fast, and I'm braking while they're pedaling.
Sure. Well, I just want to be helpful. It's.
I'm okay going super slow and irritating everyone behind us.
I don't think anyone's behind us. So what do you see is on the horizon as key issues in Minneapolis right now? Obviously Hennepin going on.
I think it's going to continue to be the police issue.
But what's going to change about policing?
Nothing. That's why it's going to continue. Like, people are going to be up in arms about crime, which is on the rise nationally. And like the fact that everything we're doing now, it seems to me, with police policy is designed to hire more or keep the ones we have from quitting and scamming us with PTSD payouts. And so, no thanks.
Yeah, no, it does seem like there's a lot of effort to just retain even bad officers because the anxiety seems to be driven by fewer police. Even if they're bad cops, we got to keep them, which is...
Yeah, even the interim chief was like, oh, here's some things I would like to do. There was a Star Tribune article, and it's like, well, this is hard to implement right now because we're just trying to, like, the staffing issues. We can't do the reforms I want to do because of staffing. And I don't want to overinterpret that, but it almost sounds to me like I can't hold officers accountable because I don't, like,
right.
We can't lose any, so I'm not implementing any big new policies.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the reality, is if you actually hold officers accountable, you risk losing those officers, and that's become more important than anything, unfortunately.
Hello.
It's in the front. I'll have to turn it around. Do your dramatic entrance after I turn the camera around.
Oh, okay.
Okay, joining us now is co-host Jason Garcia.
Mr. Norton.
Oh, sorry. I'm so awkward.
Good to see you.
Sorry. Likewise.
How's it going, John? I've heard that you almost had an event at the wrestling ring.
An event? What does that mean?
I don't know. I just heard that you were riding around by the wrestling ring, and I assumed that you were going to try to execute some maneuvers.
No. The only maneuver we've been trying to execute is not run into people's butts. There's going to be a lot of butt footage on YouTube because when I turn the camera around, that's all we can see. It's congested here. It's very congested at Lyndale open streets.
Yes, there are a lot of people out enjoying their day.
It's great. I love it. It's great to be back on Lyndale.
Yeah, I mean, how's the Chatmobile been treating you?
Well, so I've been telling all my guests that it's very hard to adjust the seat, and I didn't want to do it because there's a bar in the way, and there is a bar in the way. It's just this was moved forward more than I thought, and there was a couple inches we could get.
Okay.
Just very easily sliding it back, and so a lot of people were in pain because of my incompetence.
Yeah.
I feel like Jacob Fry is mayor.
Yeah, I mean, to further your metaphor, it seems like it's not so much incompetence as intransigence.
Lack of care, lack of due diligence, and just a general, I'm overwhelmed by my duties. I wasn't cut out for this.
Yeah. But I refused to accept the status quo, and we were able to move the seat.
Yeah, Mike Norton was very demanding.
Mike Norton isn't a change agent.
He's like, we will move the seat back.
Right.
I won't stand for this. I even offered, like, you don't have to pedal. I will pedal.
That's the sort of gumption that gets you to be the vice president of the Minneapolis DFL.
Right. That's exactly it. I've been using the term Mipples Diffle for just to shorten it.
Okay.
Fewer syllables. So you feel free to use Mipples Diffle.
Okay.
We lost video.
That's all
I
right.
have a question for you about nipples later.
Okay.
So, how many cats have you seen today, John?
Maybe one, maybe none, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like this is a very dog-friendly event, not so cat-friendly.
Well, I picked the bike up in Kingfield, and Kingfield's got a lot of good cats too.
Yeah, that's true. So, I think that this is all the more reason why we need to make sure that we continue to have the Wedge cat tour.
Yeah, I'm threatening to cancel it if the city doesn't give us full-time bus lanes. I hope that message has gotten through that there's a big event that could come back better than ever in 20. Hello, would you like a button?
Yes. I saw you yesterday, John.
Yep.
This is Mike Norton with the front. Sorry.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Jason. I didn't really get to talk to you yesterday, but I got to give you a hug. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was super busy.
I was glad that you were able to make a button.
Yeah, it was really nice. Can I grab a pin?
You can have a button, yeah.
I love your Twitter.
Thank you.
You do have a great Twitter.
Would you like a button, Mike?
I have a button already, but thank you so much.
I appreciate you not wanting. Do you have a button, Jason? Do you want one? You don't have to
I have
take
a
one.
few buttons, actually.
Okay.
But today I'm wearing the Wedge Live t-shirt.
Right, you don't even need a button.
Yeah. I'm wearing this as part of my official wardrobe for my shift at the Lena booth here at Open Street, since I'm the president of the Wedge now.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a big role.
There's a lot of exciting things that we're working on. So
I
happy to be part of the organization. I got to send a stern email to our Parks Board Commissioner about the bathrooms at Mueller Park not being unlocked. So,
Things are changing.
Yeah. And now the bathrooms are unlocked. Will you still be coming home? Well, so I'm going to let you two continue on your way. It was great to see you in the world's first huddle-powered podcast studio. I hope that if you happen to run into Jacob Fry, it's literal.
No,
we are nonviolent. We are nonviolent.
No, we renounce violence, Jason.
I mean, accidents happen, John. It's an imperfect world. Bike brakes fail all the time.
Well, the good thing about this is we got two ways to steer.
Yeah.
If I fall asleep at the wheel, Mike has my back.
Yeah, I mean, but what if you're like going right towards Jacob and Mike tries to veer to the right and you try to veer to the left?
Stop describing your violent fantasies. No.
I would immediately brake and then tell Jacob what I thought of him off the bike.
I would very politely say, hello, Mr. Mayor. I'm not a fan of what you do, but I wish you well.
I mean, that's fair.
Well, I guess that's what it takes to stay at the top of the Wedge podcast chart.
Yeah. We're very polite.
All right, have a good afternoon.
Good to see you. Thanks for the barbecue again yesterday.
Of course.
Okay. Hey! How are you?
Good. Diana.
Diana. Oh, Diana. I know Diana. You live in Whittier.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're Lyndale. So.
I have a button if you want one.
Sure. Happily wear that today.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. It's a little stressful riding this big thing through open streets.
Yes, I would bet.
But Mike is helping me out. Do you know Mike Norton?
I've heard your name.
Ward 13, former council candidate, current Minneapolis DFL vice chair.
Oh, nice.
Something like that. Yeah.
My name's Diana.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I've seen you on the tweets.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And I serve on the Trans Equity Council.
Oh, very cool.
Is that a city commission or?
Yeah, it's an advisory board to the city council.
Okay, cool.
We're one of the only, really active ones. So
Is that a new position or you've been on it for a
I've
while?
been on it since December.
Okay, so kind of new. Do you like it?
Huh?
Do you like it?
Yeah. it is kind of hard to get the city to move on things, but you know, it's nice to be able to talk to them directly about transitions.
Yeah, I think it's important. It can feel like it can feel very difficult, but I think it's important. You've got a platform.
Yeah, it's good. Cool, I was hoping I'd run into you.
It was good to meet you finally. We're gonna keep on podcasting.
Yeah, be careful.
See ya. Ooh. Okay. I'm hoping Marion Green will be here at some point. I think I have to drop you at 24th if we run into
somebody
Aisha.
more important. Yeah, for sure.
The whole approach with the podcast here is that I pick up a guest, and when I find a better guest, I force that guest to get out.
I noticed that when you picked me up, you literally had no one on the seat.
It's true. I was alone. I was desperate when I found you, but by the time I come upon Aisha Chugtai, Ward 10 council member, I will be like, Mike Norton, get out of here.
Yeah. No, we can make it very unceremonious too. No, Aisha's great. I would say, maybe my favorite council member.
Oh, really?
Top 3 for sure.
High praise. I'm going to text her. So you take over the steering.
Okay.
Podcast coming through. I've got stuff on my nose. Like, did we go through a very cottony tree?
I think there's been things in the air.
Okay.
This median has really slowed our pace as it's intended. I thought I just saw a couple people from her crew pass us actually, but I didn't see her.
Hopefully she's just hanging out.
Does she have a booth?
I don't know. Usually candidates just walk around.
Sure.
Although she's not really a candidate. Although elections happening again for city council in 2023.
Right, every seat.
Will you announce right here, right now, that you're not running against Palmisano for a second time?
If you need me to announce it, yeah. I feel like my Twitter feed's been pretty clear though.
Okay. No.
But, you know, just the bad tweets I've had, there's no way I can run for anything again.
Well, that's not true. You had bad tweets before.
But I lost by 40 also.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of momentum. I don't know if you saw the Southwest Alliance for Equity, or SWAY, that just started a group of people that a number of them were volunteering on our city council campaign. You know, people are starting to get organized in Southwest, and I think for the next candidate that decides to run, it's going to be a different environment.
Yeah. So what I always say about Ward 13 is, and Linea Palmisano, is very loud. Very loud. So what I say is that we're going to end up with somebody worse than her. When she loses,
I have a sick one for you.
or when she decides not to run in the future.
You think it'll go right?
Yeah.
But the thing is,
as much as we complain about her, whoever Ward 13 chooses after her is going to be much worse. And that's saying something, because she's not great.
I disagree, because I think, you know, even though Ward 13 is the most conservative ward, it's still like 75-80% self-described Democrats. And there's no way to win without at least pretending you're a progressive in Ward 13, like giving them just enough to feel like, yeah, this isn't dirty.
Mike, you don't account for the fact there is a wide swath, a wide variety of Democrats in this city, and the ones who live in Ward 13 have a particular set of viewpoints that.
But you think someone's going to be able to openly run to the right of Palmisano and win?
No, they won't openly run to the right of her. They just will. I feel like she's more interested in being seen as progressive than whoever replaces her will be. We can end up with a Lisa Goodman type, in other words. Like, I feel like Lisa Goodman is worse than Palmisano. Like, Palmisano voted for the Transportation Action Plan. Goodman didn't.
Lisa Goodman was at least against tear gas.
That's true. Yeah, one of Palmisano's big problems. Hello!
Good to see you.
One of Palmisano's big problems is that she's desperate to cover for the mayor for whatever reason. Even when it's embarrassing.
Likewise.
We love your bike as well. You've got a third seat.
Yeah.
Are you also podcasting?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
He's the original Blackbird.
Oh, very cool.
Well, later. We're recording. We'll be uploading it later.
Oh.
We did the walking.
Well, what's that?
Can we give you some information on the bike?
Sure.
This is the next generation. Is the electric side by side.
So I borrowed this bike. Is this also?
That's a Blackbird bike.
This is a Blackbird. Okay, I'm discovering more about this bike.
Yeah. And I like your rig setup here. That's nice.
I borrowed this from Betty Tizzle. Do you know Betty?
The name sounds familiar, but it's she's had this one for a long time, I bet. Because it looks like a Mark IV, and we're at Mark V.
No, I think it's a Mark V.
It's a Mark V? Okay.
Yeah. I stopped counting when I got to 1,200 of these things.
That's how many you
They've
sold?
been doing it for 20 years. Yeah, all over the U.S., Canada. There's at least 3 in Alaska and at least 3 in Europe.
Wow.
Well, this bike should come with like more prominent branding because people ask about it when you're riding it.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice meeting you both. We're going to carefully steer around you.
Yep. He's going to give you a couple of cards just in case people ask about the bike.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The latest one with this one.
And he's a Minneapolis boy, so if you're ever looking for a story, he was he grew up around Nokomis.
All right.
Nokomis and
So.
U of M and
Nice to meet you both. Oh, you are also mic'd up.
Well, we were.
I was filming earlier. I'm not mic'd right now, but
Okay.
We're trying to do more for the website for people and to show what we do.
Okay. I will link to the website.
Great.
It was nice meeting you.
see you.
Have a good day.
The ride.
All right. Thanks.
Have a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna check my phone again, Mike Norton.
Sure. I mean, even if Aisha's not available, maybe somebody else that's more important is now available.
Maybe. Across from Milk Jam. Did we pass Milk Jam?
Jam's behind us. I think that's
Mike,
where I saw it.
We have to U-turn.
You don't want to come in too hot.
There we
Take out
go.
that kid on the scooter.
Okay. I'll let her know that we're coming. Okay, we're going to Milk Jam, 4 blocks. Ooh, it's gonna take us forever.
Yeah. Well, we could try and be more aggressive and assertive this way. If you need to get to Aisha.
Okay. Might have to lean heavy on the ding-dings.
Yeah, I don't think we should be afraid of it. Like I said, I was just in New York. The horns are used much more aggressively there, and I think it keeps things moving a little bit better. Pride merch. Did you see that? They were giving out bricks.
Oh no, they're giving out bricks? What's that for? Are we throwing bricks through windows?
Stonewall was a riot, I think is the expression.
Let's not have a riot on Lyndale Avenue. I live here.
I think it was just a joke.
What's
Hello.
your podcast about?
Local politics.
Okay, cool. Is it on like Spotify or?
Yeah, it's the Wedge Live podcast.
Okay.
You're getting a lot of marketing out of this sign here.
You think? Are people going to be drawn to the pod? We're going to have new listeners?
What is like an average day of new subscribers for you, or average week?
So I don't have subscriber numbers. I have listen numbers.
Sure.
And that's proprietary, and I'm not going to tell you.
Sure.
But so I don't know.
You don't expect an open streets bump?
Not really. We did a Lyndale Avenue episode and only got like 250 views on YouTube. In addition to more people listen to that, which makes no sense to me.
Sure.
Why would
Because you were
listen?
in the median, right?
Yeah. Some people just don't have time to sit and watch YouTube on their TV or on whatever screen they would watch it on. My butt is my butt hurts.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry about that. Maybe.
Probably have to take a break.
take a break from pedaling? Or from
my
podcasting?
butt digging into this seat.
Do you want to get ice cream and milk jam?
No. I was never mad about all the music here until I had a podcast. It's ruining our audio.
Right.
There we go.
All right. So I think when we were going into the music the last time, you were talking about how Ward 13, Ward 7 will only move right. When,
I don't know if Ward 7 will. Ward 7 is pretty far gone at this point. Can't get any worse than Lisa Goodman, for real. But 13 could get worse.
Do you think people are that engaged, though?
What's that?
So I remember I knocked a lot of doors in Ward 13. I remember one in particular. This woman told me all the reasons that the city council was ruining everything. Minneapolis City Council, this, that, the other. Gets to the end of her rant, and she's like, and I'm sorry, but are you the incumbent? Like, people don't know. People don't pay attention. And
I think what you're describing here is tricking people into thinking you will be to the right of Palmisano.
That I will be?
No, just anyone. Any candidate is like an anti-incumbent sentiment, in other words. Like, throw the bums out, and then people don't realize they accidentally voted for someone who is slightly more progressive.
Right.
I could see that happening.
You could run a campaign, a mailer campaign with just a graph that says like parking spaces in Ward 13 since Palmisano took, and just talk about her vote eliminating parking.
Yeah.
Just really target her from that angle. Make her out to be the progressive she claims to be.
In a very anti-incumbent year, you could fool people into voting for a more progressive person.
Maybe. But I guess my whole point is like, a lot of it is that people aren't that engaged, especially down ballot. Like last time they knew the mayor, they knew the ballot questions, but they didn't even know who was running for city council in a lot of cases. And I think that's fairly common. A lot of times it's an off-year election, they ask when election day is when you're knocking doors. So like, I do think that there's more ability to, more malleability, I guess, in the voter base than people give credit for.
Okay, Mike, we're coming up on Milk Jam, and hopefully if my new and improved guest is there, I will be able to kick you out of the seat.
Yeah.
Podcast coming through.
No, I think, like I said, Aisha would be an improved guest, and I wouldn't blame you at all.
I appreciate that. You let me know if you spot her.
All right, I'm looking. We're coming up on Milk Jam now. This has been a lovely experience, by the way, pedaling on open streets with you.
I hope so. I'm stressed. There's someone with a Streets Are for People sign. Did you go to the Lake Chipotle table? There's a tour. I recommend taking the standing tour at the Lake Chipotle table. It was very well done.
Yeah, that account's been pretty funny. And I know you termed the coin Lake Chipotle, or coined the term.
I popularized it. I can't say that I coined it.
Sure, but I like the life of its own that it's now taken on. It's a landmark. It's beloved by the city.
Okay. She over there?
I don't know. I thought I saw her, but I didn't.
Let's get in the shade. I'm feeling.
Sure.
I'm getting burned.
Oh, there she is, right there. Anyway.
Oh.
So you found a better guest?
I did, yeah. Mike, we found a better guest. You're gone.
Well, I appreciate the time, and I don't blame you for shifting. Aisha, how are you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. This is a real thing. Real thing.
None of you have the balls to stop this. Stop this.
I've got going on today?
We're in the Wedge neighborhood right now, 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 right now.